Hi, I'm Darren Walker, and this is Inside Louisiana Baseball. Tonight, the Louisiana Legacy Series continues as Tim and Gunnar Leger join the Ragin Cajuns podcast. And later, Dr. Brian Maggart updates us on the state of Ragin Cajuns athletics. But first, I sit down with baseball head coach Tony Robichaux to discuss the weekend series with Arkansas State and more. You're watching Inside Louisiana Baseball. Welcome to Inside Louisiana Baseball. Darren Walker joined by the head coach, as always, Coach Tony Robichaux. Coach, pretty good week, 4-1. We'll get to Arkansas State in just a little bit, but I want to go back to your midweek games with Southeastern last Tuesday and Wednesday. You got win number 900, and I'll leave that right there on Tuesday night as head coach of the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. But I think more importantly, you maybe got one of the more complete games that you guys have played this season.
Yeah, well, first the week was good because it's a 4-1 week. You know, that's kind of our standard. You know, you really don't want anything less than a 3-2 week in a 5-game week. So, but we got the week started off right. You know, we came out of Troy on Sunday. I was real proud of them fighting back on Sunday and then having the bus ride, not getting back in until almost 1:30 in the morning on Monday morning. And then you never know what Tuesdays are going to bring. And you really need a pitcher to go out on Tuesdays and really set a good tempo. And that's what we got. We were able to, you know, beat those guys with 2 arms and then 2 freshmen at that.
Logan Savoy, Connor Cook are the 2 names you mentioned or didn't mention, but those are the 2 guys. And you got that win 8-3 on Wednesday. A little bit more of a test. You had 4 lead changes in this one, but the bats started to heat up. Tremaine Spears goes 3 for 5. His breakout continues, and you get the 9-8 win.
Well, you know what I was really glad of is that we were able to let go of a win at home and be able to get on a bus and go back. You don't have much time to celebrate in baseball, right? So the next night you back after it again, and we were going to go there. So the score always goes up there. They play well there, like most people do in their own home ballparks. And I was glad because not only did we win the game, but the way we won both of them. You know, the first one was at home. You were a little bit more protected. You pitched really well. Not a lot of lead changes and stuff. We broke out to a lead and kind of kept it. And then there, the lead went back and forth, and we had to come from behind to win. And then, so that was really good to see that we won in a lot of different ways in 2 games.
Friday night, we'll get to the Arkansas State series now. Was a 12-6 loss. We'll steer clear of all the statistics and specifics, but I think the wounds from this one were mostly self-inflicted, and you just can't give a team like Arkansas State those kind of opportunities.
No, and you know, being the head of pitching for so long, you know, I truly believe this. I believe that, you know, the pitcher set the tempo. I thought we set a good tempo in the Southeastern games, and I thought we set a poor tempo on Friday night. The team's always going to be a little tired in a 5-game week, you know, especially when you hit that 2 o'clock in the morning return on Monday morning, then you play Tuesday, you turn around, you travel and play Wednesday, get back at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning again. You on Wednesday, I mean, and Thursday you get 1 day of rest, and then Friday you back after it again. So you really want to get out and set a good tempo, and we didn't. We set a poor tempo, and we were tiptoeing, and it made our position players play on their heels. We botched an early double play ball that could have changed, I think, the momentum of the whole, maybe the whole game. And then we finally, Cox comes in, does a really good job for us. He's been really good all year when we get behind to flip the momentum. And then we made the next pitching move, and then he let the game get away from us. And, you know, our goal is to pitch against the 3-run inning. And when you give up a 4-run and a 5-run, that's 9 runs in 2 innings. You know, it's going to be tough to recover in that type of firefight. And so we had to let that one go and flush it. You know, it was not a good game. And then come back, the rain pushed the game up to a doubleheader. And then we got 2 good starting performances. And with those 2 good starting performances and the bats, you know, swinging the way they are, I think we just continue to pitch. I think we're getting a thicker lineup now. You know, with all the injuries we've had, the lineup has not been that thick. You know, we've had a couple guys at the front end doing well, but with the injuries, pitchers could kind of weave through our lineup. Now we're getting down, you know, Locke got going again, and so that's the 9-hole hitter. And so now, it's tougher to weave, and I think that's why we're starting to break games open in the middle of the game, is because it's tougher for the pitchers to weave and find that weak spot in your lineup.
You mentioned the doubleheader. I don't know if something happened Friday night after the loss or Saturday morning, but the team just seemed to come out a little angry. I mean, that's the vibe in the stadium that day. And you guys proceeded to put a beat down on the Red Wolves 14-5.
Well, I think, again, it's starting pitching. Perrin came out and set a good tempo, and I think position players want to play behind good tempo. If you look, when Gunnar was our starter the last couple of years in All-American, you go back and you look, we didn't look like we played lethargic on the 90 pitch. You go back and you look at the errors. We didn't have many errors in 90 pitch, and that's what great starters do. There was a statistic a while back where Roger Clemens, when he pitched for the Yankees, on the nights he pitched, they hit more home runs, and it's because he adrenalized his team when he took the field. And Gunnar's a lot like that, and you look at our season, it's been so tough losing so many guys. Gunnar, your All-American's not out there Friday night, and then you look at the outing we got from Young, that guy's the 7th best junior college player in the country, but his sophomore season he runs into a labrum tear, and so he gets here and then runs into a knee injury, and so we've had to work with him along the way to get him up and running. But you saw what he did. You run a healthy Gunnar out opening night, and then through the season, and then Brandon behind him, we're a totally different ball club. But, we just got to keep weaving through what we got to weave through, and we got 2 quality starts, and I think that's what's led to the 2 wins in the doubleheader.
Right, so you take 2 out of 3 from the Red Wolves. Like you said, Brandon Young was on the hill in Game 3. He came in and got 13 strikeouts that afternoon or that night, and I'm going to put you on the spot. That's the most since 2013. Any idea who had the most since then?
Well, I can't lie to you. Somebody told me that after the game. Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Robichaux in 2013 had 14 strikeouts. So that'll do it for this segment. We'll catch up with you later on to talk about the week ahead. But next, we visit with Tim and Gunnar Leger on the Louisiana Legacy Series.
To perform, you need speed, skill, strength. With every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
Look at me in the eye. They bleed just like you bleed. There is no apprehension. There is no fear. Bottom line, they got to come to us to get this done. All right, we decide what happens. We dictate what happens on that field today. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3, together.
The Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or L Directors Cup on Twitter. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
As a football player at Barb, you're a pretty good wide receiver, some runs in the state playoffs.
Yeah.
You said football wasn't really the option you thought of going into college, but for both of you, what was it like for you to hang that side of the competition up?
For me, it was, I really didn't have a choice. Going into my senior year, we found out about this bone cyst in my left femur. Trying to get opinions and do all kind of stuff, and no doctor would really say, "Hey, you'll be okay. Just go do it. You'll be fine." So we kind of just made a decision, or I made a decision that it wasn't really in my best interest, because I think I was either I had some offers and was getting recruited. I can't remember if I was already committed here or not. But
I don't think so.
I don't think I was, but just that baseball was what I wanted to do, and I mean, I knew I was going to miss my senior year of football, especially with Kenan and Trey and all those guys and all my buddies, but I didn't want one catch on the sideline and a helmet to the femur to put me out for 2 years. And then I don't even know what a broken femur rehab looks like, And I mean, they told me that if it got hit in the right spot with how the cyst was in my leg and how it had kind of thinned some of that bone out, that it probably wouldn't be a great break. I mean, it would have shattered or something crazy would have. It wouldn't have been a good deal. So, I mean, it was tough for me. I was at every game. We weren't what we were my junior year. My senior year, we had lost Deshaun Smith, Courtney Galantine. I mean, we had lost some guys that were all-state players. But I mean, it was cool to be around when Trey broke that record. I mean, just be around my buddies and stuff. So it was good.
Yeah, it was the thing about going to see Dr. Marco and the guys that we saw for his femur. Dr. Marco was with the Lakers. He was with the U.S. Olympic team, the ski team. He was a pretty renowned guy. And, he basically had a really good feel for Gunnar and what he wanted to do and try to do. And Gunnar doesn't even realize this, but in the days that we were trying to make a decision and Dr. Marco was really looking at these cysts and doing these things, his PA took Gunnar out of the room, and Dr. Marco said, "All right, Coach, is he a football player or is he a baseball player?" And I said, "Well, he's a pretty good high school football player. I don't think he'll play in college because he doesn't want to. But I think he really has a future in baseball, and I think he can do that if it's something that he wants to do." And he's like, "Coach, in good conscience, I just can't clear this kid to play football and have the contact risk." And I said, "Well, you need to handle it how you need to handle it," kind of thing, and put it in on his court. And basically, he got Gunnar out of the room to get a really good feel for what you thought. Yeah. And then he brought him back in and basically walked him right into the process of basically deciding that football wasn't going to be the future or the path, and it was in everybody's best interest, mainly his, to give it up. And so Dr. Marco was really remarkable through this whole process and really had a good feel, really developed a relationship with Gunnar and understood who he was to try to get to get him right and get him where we are now, and ultimately perform the surgery that he had last year, and got him moving forward. So he's been amazing. He really has.
Yeah, he's pretty.
But it'd have been easy for him to say, "Hey, the kid wants to play football. Let's let him play and run the risk." And you do that, and then maybe it doesn't work out great. Maybe it does, or maybe he just is stone cold and says, "Hey, football's over." But he really tried to get a feel for who he was, what he wanted, and what were the best ways to go about it. And Gunnar was fine with it, I guess, until the season started, and then he was just like, "I don't care, I'm playing." And we kind of had to talk him down from that. And then once we kind of got in the flow of the season, and he basically settled on the fact that he was going to be a cheerleader, pretty much, that it was, it was okay. So.
Next on Inside Louisiana Baseball, Athletic Director Brian Maggard updates us on the state of Ragin Cajuns athletics in Maggard Minutes.
Hello, Ragin Cajun fans, and welcome back to another edition of Cajun Thoughts. And the year was 1997, where Burke Hall was renamed after Doris Hawthorne and named Burke Hawthorne Hall. So today, we walked around this beautiful campus asking students about that year, 1997. What do you think the number one movie was in 1997?
Okay, we can
really,
say it. We
or
can
either
say it.
that or like Matrix.
Ooh, that might be a good answer.
Something with Rocky. I feel like it was like.
That's a good guess, though. No,
Rocky.
I don't even know. Celine Dion was singing in there. And
Titanic.
yeah. This with a boat. Yeah, Titanic.
That's a movie?
Yeah, Titanic. How you didn't know that? That's your movie? In 1997, Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, had a star role in a movie that portrayed a singer. What was the name of that movie?
No clue.
Selena?
Yes.
Selena.
Yes. Yes. She getting them all.
Selena.
Yes. Yeah. This very popular group can't debut their hit single, No, No, No. What was the name of that group? And yeah.
I know the song.
No, 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 No.
Destiny Child?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
No.
Destiny's Child.
Oh.
Destiny's
Child.
Yeah, Destiny's Child. Okay. Ragin Cajun fans, I'm Marcel Johnson, and thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Baseball. Time now to check in with Athletic Director Dr. Brian Maggart.
Welcome, Cajun Nation. This is Brian Maggart, Athletics Director for the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. We just completed a very eventful and busy month of March, a month that really culminated in us being able to roll out the new RCF investor model. This will be a model that we believe will be much more transparent in nature, will better reflect and recognize our investors at the level that they're fully investing in the Department of Athletics, and it will continue to reward loyalty, which is something we know is very important to our fan base. This week, many of our investors, all of our investors actually, will receive information in the mail, but also be directed to access information on our brand new website that will explain our new model in detail, as well as we'll have 3 established town hall meetings, the first being on the morning of April 13th, prior to the spring football game, where we'll give our investors an opportunity to come together, hear a presentation, and ask any questions that they may have. But at the end of the day, we're very excited about this new model. I think it'll be much more easier for people to understand. Certainly will be much more easier for us to manage internally, and will provide great opportunities for both our investors and our Department of Athletics. The month of March, we recognize all of our athletic trainers, rightfully so. These are a group of individuals who absolutely work behind the scenes and receive very little credit. It's a group of people who are dedicated to the health and well-being of all of our student athletes, covering all 16 sport programs. And so the month of March, we were able to recognize those individuals publicly for the great job that they do day in and day out. A very thankless job at times, but we have a core group of athletic trainers who work very hard and are dedicated to our student athlete population and to this great university. This week, we will be getting together with HOK, the architects on record, for the feasibility study. And we continue to refine and look at a renovation plan for Cajun Field. We're getting ever so close to having a final product, but look forward to getting together with the architect and many other individuals, both internally and on our campus, to decide what direction we can and want to go to move forward. So April brings an exciting month, not only as we continue spring sport play with men's and women's tennis, softball and baseball, and track and field and men's golf, but also April 13th signifies the end of spring football practice. And as we do every year, we will host our Vermilion and White spring game at noon on April 13th. We encourage our fan base to come out and support the Ragin Cajuns and get a look at Coach Napier, his team, his staff, in what is to be an exciting year 2. In addition to that, as you may know, we are in the midst of football season ticket renewals. That renewal date actually does end on April 13th, and then soon thereafter, we will open up general public season ticket sales to the public. Cajun Nation, I can't stress enough the need for your support this upcoming football season. We need to pack Cajun Field every home game. We have 6 home games, and we need your support more than ever. The best way to support our football program is through attending the events, and the best way to do that is purchase a season ticket. We have price points that are very affordable, that run the gamut, and so are very hopeful and look forward to a strong showing in season ticket sales this year. Well, as eventful and busy as March was, it also was a month of sadness and sorrow for our department. We lost 2 very special individuals in Leonard Welts and Lynn Williams, 2 longtime employees of the university and the athletic department. These were unexpected losses for us, and as a department, we're still mourning their losses. Those are 2 individuals that you don't replace. They're individuals that you try to strategize a plan to keep moving forward, but the specialties that both of those gentlemen brought to our department and to this community are really irreplaceable. So we'll continue to move forward and work very hard on building our equipment room and getting that staffed appropriately, but certainly those unexpected losses were a big blow to not only our athletics department, but to the university and to this community as well.
The residence halls are very new, very clean, very nice. A lot of people get suite style rooms, which are 2-person to 1 room, and some nice perks to the residence halls are free laundry, and they even have an app, so it'll tell you when your laundry is ready, so that's sweet. They have weekly housekeeping, so you don't have to worry about your bathroom.
There's such a variety of food options on and off campus. You can get anything from Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut to crawfish etouffee and jambalaya. The meal plan is actually included in your room, so you're never going hungry when you live on campus. When there's something going on campus, you never have to worry about how you're going to get there because you're literally steps away. You can just walk. If I pull a late night studying or writing a paper, I can take those few extra minutes to sleep in because my class is 10 minutes away.
We have an amazing opportunity for our first year students where they can live in the residence halls and be a part of a living learning community. So these are small communities where students can make friends very quickly with other students that they have a lot in common with. For example, students who like the arts, they can live in Gateway to the Arts, and then they take classes together.
Building relationships has been just as easy as inviting people to go out to eat in the dining hall or inviting someone to study together in the library or the community room.
Look at me in the eye. They bleed just like you bleed. There is no apprehension. There is no fear. Bottom line, they got to come through us to get this done. All right, we decide what happens. We dictate what happens on that field today. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3, together.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Baseball. Darren Walker joined once again by the head coach Tony Robichaux. Another 5-game week on the horizon. The next one coming up right here in a few minutes on CST at 6:30 when you guys host Louisiana Tech. Then you have McNeese tomorrow night and then South Alabama coming up this weekend. I know you don't like the 5-game week, but it is a chance to maybe continue that momentum and make some strides here as we head into the later part of the year.
Well, the one thing when you do hit the 5s is you hope you're playing well. You know, we come off a 4-1 week, so and with the rain and the pushed up doubleheader, even though it was a long day, we didn't get out of there at almost 11 o'clock at night. The one thing it did do is give us a rare Sunday off to rest, and then Monday they pick up their normal day off, and then getting after Tech again. You know, we felt we had that game up there. We pitched really well up there and played very well. In the 8th inning, we had runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, but we failed to get a run in. But we weren't swinging the bat at that time as good as we're swinging it now. So we're going to need to do that because Tech is good, McNeese is good, and then of course South Alabama is always good heading into this weekend.
And the other silver lining, if you're looking for one, is that you're doing this all at home. So this weekend, like you said, South Alabama comes into Russo. This is a rivalry that really spans decades, and you can always throw the records out of the window when these two teams get together, but maybe even more so this year.
Well, they've had a proud history, and really, 15-something years ago, Coach Kittrell and those guys, they really dominated the Sun Belt Conference, and then we got going in it, and then from that point on, this was before me even here with Coach Bo and Papa Ramos and all those guys, they had some, bench clear brawls, and that's kind of what started all that, is that they were kind of in charge of the conference, and then we came in and started trying to push them around, and they didn't like that, and so it's always a good series because they're proud, we're proud, and both teams will play the game hard. They're well coached. I got a lot of respect for their coach. He was at FIU for a long time, went to South Carolina, was a part of 2 national championships there, and then went take the head coaching job when Coach Kittrell retired. So it's a proud program, and they're well coached, so we'll have to be ready to go.
Ethan Wilson is a 300-plus hitter, and he leads the Jags in just about every offensive category that there is. So he'll be a guy that you're going to have to focus on this weekend.
Well, it's a good sign for them. He was drafted very high, and they thought they were going to lose him to the Major League Baseball draft coming out of high school, but they were able to keep him, and that's so important. You look at our pitching right now, trying to get going. We've lost 8 pitchers, 7 to Major League Baseball in the last 2 years. So when you lose 7 pitchers to the Major League Baseball draft in 2 years, it's going to catch you in transition year. So, and then with Gunnar being a closer now versus a starter, you need somebody to step up and eat those innings. So hopefully with Jack Burke coming back off food poison of the flu this week, he missed a start. He had been throwing really well. Hopefully with him now and Brandon throwing well, and AP will be lined up really good for the weekend.
Thanks a lot, Coach, for joining us this week. As always, coming up next on the show, a closer look at the upcoming schedule.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, nothing God will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, mange.
We are allowed to, be our own person, and we can talk to our professors and talk to our teachers. And if we need help at all, there's somebody there. And not even just with your professors, with other student organizations and that kind of stuff. You're in a family, like this is your family, and you feel like that whenever you come here. You don't just get lost in a crowd.
Actually, the student to faculty ratio is only about 22-1. So we know what you want to do with your life. We know what your majors are. We know what your goals and dreams, your career aspirations, the problems that you might have. And so we're able to work one-on-one with you a lot more than you might expect. Once you get here, we put you out into experiences that you will see as parallels in the real world. So if you're taking a political science course on the law, we're going to go and observe the courtroom. If you're taking a nursing class, you're going to go into the hospital. If you take an education class, then you're going to go into a school. We're going to make sure that you know what you're doing before you get to that next step.
One reason I was drawn to the university is the people. They actually care about the university. They feel like it's the best university in the world. So naturally, if the people here feel like that, then you're gonna naturally feel like that once you get here. It's just the energy that they have around here. Everything is about Ragin Cajuns, and it's the best place to be.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Baseball. Time now for a closer look at the upcoming week.